Welcome to Fantasy Football Court. We are four regular guys talking all things fantasy football. Unlike some other shows, we only talk about fantasy football. We make our arguments, we present our cases, and you are the judge. We are all in the same fantasy football league. The people are real, the league is real, and the trash talking is real. Court is now in session. Welcome to Fantasy Football Court again. We hope you enjoy our show today. My name is Charles.
My name is Andrew.
This is Nick.
And this is Jeremy.
Today we're going to put the New York Jets on the stand. They'll be cross-examined and questioned about their team and position. And just to give you a brief overview about the Jets, I don't have anything. I really don't have a lot to say about the Jets.
We can go ahead and rule that the Jets are guilty of sucking this year.
Yeah.
They're the most talented prime team in the NFL.
Wow. Brutal.
That hurts.
That hurts, yeah. Sorry, Jet fans. You're loyal. You sit out there in the cold weather. But I really don't know what to tell you. And as far as fantasy goes, I just don't see the Jets offering any real fantasy value early in the draft. Obviously, we're going to cover all the positions. Are there Jets you want on your team late in the draft or mid? Yeah, there's probably a few, and we'll cover them. But last year, I chose Brandon Marshall in the second round. He killed me. It just didn't work out. And I think Brandon Marshall is an elite receiver on a bad team. And a lot of these players are good players. They just happen to be on bad teams. And maybe they turned around this year. Maybe they surprise people. Maybe there's players on the Jets team that you get late that can be productive for you. I'm going to start with Nick on this one. Do you have any thoughts on the New York Jets?
Well, you got three players that's draftable, and that's Quincy Enunwa, Matt Forte, and Bilal Powell. Now, there's talk. I tell you the truth, I think they're going to run it into the ground. I think they're going to run it into the ground and try to get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. So, I mean, you're going to see a lot of Matt Forte until he's had enough and he can't last any longer because
this could be Forte's last year.
Yeah, this could be his last year because the way that they talk in spring, they're going to run him like the bell cow. And
Last year he faded because of that.
Right.
I don't think he has it in him the gas in him to go the full season. So Bilal Powell is going to be more like a third down receiving back from what I hear, and it's just. And then Quincy Enunwa might be a decent receiver, but I mean you don't got no quarterback there to throw him the ball. So you're just at a loss for the Jets. There's Robbie Anderson and Darius Stewart. Darius Stewart's going to be the number 2 receiver, but still none of them even draftable players. So,
all right, Nick,
if they had a good quarterback, I would be higher on our Darius Stewart just simply because our Darius is a physical player. He's 6'2", around 200 pounds, and just is a physical beast. But with nobody to throw him the ball. You know, we're big SEC guys. Their quarterback position this year is like Auburn's quarterback position last year. They're going to have 3 guys, and you don't know which is going to play. They may play all 3 the same game for all we know. It's going to be Hackenberg, Bryce Petty, Josh McCown. That quarterback stuff just scares me to death on that. I drafted Forte last year, round 4. Which is not a bad place to get him, but he was great the first part of the year. The last part of the year, I was starting Bilal Powell because I picked him up off of waivers, and it really hurt. The production hurt.
Right.
So if you do draft Forte, you may want to make sure that he's not going to be a running back that you're having to depend on as your 1 or 2 running back. He needs to be probably the 3rd running back on your team that you can. If he's hot, you put him in. If he's not, or a bad matchup, get him for somebody else.
I don't know if I'd go that high. He might be your 3rd running back, not your second player off second running back off the board. But another thing they rave about are Darius Stewart, but there's nobody there throwing the ball. So.
Well, speaking of that, none of the quarterbacks for the Jets are even being drafted in fantasy drafts right now. Any overview before we break down the positions?
Buck Funkel.
Is that the Jets?
Yes, it is. Sanchez.
I know Sanchez isn't there no more, but that's still what I think about when I think about the Jets.
Well, it just seems
even
like
this year, you take the 2 worst teams, the Browns and the Jets, and you got a quarterback that came from the Browns now with the Jets.
I'd say
It's not going to
Browns
make a
are
difference in
lot-
McCown. I mean,
Browns are
I
a lot better than the Jets are.
Yeah, the Jets are the worst team in the league.
Doesn't it seem like there's certain franchises or organizations, they just consistently have bad things happen and they
Yes.
can't ever, and I don't know if it's the front office, I don't know if it's bad
Sometimes
draft
it's-
choices.
And I'm gonna name drop here, but the Jets have not made the playoffs since my boy Ari Neeson, shout out to Ari, left their front office to go be an agent with Rock Nation several years ago. Since he left, they've not made the playoffs. He's pointed that out to me about every phone conversation
There
we
you
have.
go.
So I think it's a front office issue.
Well, there's definitely something going on. I mean, they have not been even an average NFL team for years. I mean, they're not even an average team. They have been below average for a long, long time. And if you're looking to the New York Jets to fill your fantasy roster, I think you're in trouble.
we want to play in your league.
Yeah, we definitely won't play in your league. All right, let's look at the quarterbacks real quick. We've got Josh McCown, Christian Hackenberg, and Bryce Petty. Nick, do you have any comments on any of those?
My money, I guess, is the start is Christian Hackenberg, and I think McCown's
Wow.
going to be the one to set back and just the veteran to help him out. That's my only. That's just a guess.
If they start Hackenberg, he's going to be fed to the wolves, and it may destroy his career. I think he's a quarterback that has talent, but if they start him year one, he will probably lose confidence and be done.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's with any of the quarterbacks.
I tell you, I remember watching a couple years ago Bryce Petty at the combines, and there's no defense, there's no helmets, there's no pads, but man, he looked the part. When I was watching him, I thought, wow, what an impressive specimen for a quarterback, but it just hasn't.
I spent several hours with Bryce Petty at the Senior Bowl when he played at the Senior Bowl, and one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So cool. Physical-wise, you stand in the room with him, and you look at him, you're saying, wow, this kid is impressive.
Yeah.
But when you talk to him, you can tell that he's smart. You can tell he's intelligent. I think maybe bad team, bad situation. I don't know, but
Yeah.
he just does not
The
translate.
last 2 years, Joe Namath has said that's who needs to be starting is Bryce Petty. So
I was impressed with him.
Yeah, but Joe Namath is also the guy that tried to kiss the reporter
All
on
right,
TV,
all right,
too.
all right.
So how much
I
do you
mean,
respect
yeah.
him?
That was funny. I remember seeing that. Andy, you got any comments on the quarterback?
Don't draft any of them.
Yeah, don't draft any of them, even if they're late, even if it's. I can't even do as much as I like Bryce Petty. Even if he's there in the 17th round, I don't think I can take a chance on him. I think you have to see how well they do and maybe pick them up on the waiver wire. If one of them happens to, because
There's not
somebody's
a-
got to quarterback the team.
There's not a situation
There's not even
where I
any
have a
matchups
Jets quarterback on
that
my
I'm
team.
using.
Yeah.
them.
All right, we're gonna drop the quarterback talk. Let's go to the running backs. I'm gonna start with Jeremy on this. Is there any of the running backs? Let's look at the Jets running backs.
Forte had career lows last year. I don't see any reason why I would expect that to improve this year.
He had the 18th best numbers of running backs last year. finished
He
18th.
started strong but faded
That's
as
gonna
the
drop this
season
year.
as the season went on. I expect the same thing. He'll start strong, but he'll get hurt or he'll just fade because let's face it, he has taken the reason Chicago got rid of him is because he had already exceeded the amount of hits, and we've talked about this before. Every team has got a hit number that they want their running backs to absorb over their career, and once they get past that number, they cut them loose and let him go. That's what happened to Sean Alexander. That's what happened to Matt Forte. The Chicago Bears said, you know what, we don't want you anymore because you've gotten hit too many times. The Jets picked him up, and they've just added to that
Right.
hit list.
He hasn't been there.
And he hasn't been the same, and he won't get better. Age, very rarely in the NFL, except maybe at the quarterback position, I've never seen a running back
Improve.
get better with
Right.
age.
Probably the only exception may be Adrian Peterson. He has defied.
I don't know that he's
I'm
gotten
not saying
better,
he's
but
done
he's
it.
stayed the same.
Right. I'm not saying he's exceeded at it
When he's
but-
not beating kids.
Yeah, when he's not beating his children. All right, Nick, got any comments on that?
I think Matt Forte is going to be your first half of the season. If you have a Jet running back, your first half of the season, you're not going to see much of Bilal Powell. I don't think you're going to get much out of him. But then because I think they're going to ride Matt Forte from what I understand, and then you're going to get Bilal Powell a lot in the second half of the season. But with nothing around them, they're going to stack the box. How much production are you going to get out of them? So they're
Forte
scary.
is more valuable in a PPR league, though,
Yeah.
than he is in a non-PPR league.
So who's throwing him the ball? But yeah,
He only had one touchdown last year receiving.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see more out of Powell than what you think, Nick. Earlier on in the season, I think they're going to they're going to share it a little bit more.
I think
Just because of Forte's age, his there's been concerns with his knee last year. I think you'll end up seeing more carries than what you anticipate. I think they'll be sharing the ball more.
Bilal Powell is being drafted before Matt Forte in the average draft position.
Right.
Well, he's the longer. I mean, he's the better running back. There's no doubt.
He's the
about
better
it.
play.
He's the better player, the better running back. He's a lot more juice. But
So do you avoid Matt Forte this year?
I don't know that I would avoid him because he could get you some valuable wins.
At what point do you draft him? I mean, he's there in the third round. You take him in the third? No,
absolutely.
You don't take him till 6, 7.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm trying to
I'm
get
not
him.
drafting. It's about 10.
10th round, Matt Forte. Wow, boy, Matt, you.
He won't be there then, but I don't want him.
I don't know.
Somebody will take him because of past
Somebody will
history.
take him
So
because
many
he's-
people will draft in fantasy football based on what they've done in the past. There's some name recognition. Oh, it's my turn to draft. He's here. I'm going to pick
Matt
him.
Forte's still sitting in.
I
Matt
will tell
Forte's
you
in?
this, though, and I don't do this. A lot of people are influenced by preseason football.
They are.
Okay, I follow OTAs, and when they report to camp in the end of July 27th to 29th, depending on what team you're with, I follow the next few weeks. Once preseason football hits, I intentionally try to turn a lot of that off because I've been the victim of watching a
I have
game, getting high on somebody
Sam
and
Bradford, 5
overdrafting
touchdowns
him.
in the preseason game.
So I think that could happen with some people this year with Matt Forte. I think they may put him in early in the preseason.
Looks good.
First couple of games, he plays in the first quarter. Has some pretty strong outings in the first quarter. People start to get high on him. Don't fall guilty of that this year.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. One thing I think Matt Forte is going to get more carries than Bilal Powell at the first half of the season because I think they're trying to keep that hit number down on Bilal Powell because they're going to save him for when they're not running into the ground to get that quarterback in the beginning of the draft next year. That's the reason I think you're going to have more at Forte this first half of the season. But Bilal Powell had 58 receptions last year. That's pretty good for a running back, and that's something that's going to be valuable in a PPR rate, especially at the end of the season. So if you draft him, keep him.
I think somebody that's not going to get drafted, but we're going to see playing by the end of the year for the Jets is Elijah McGuire. He's going to come in, I believe, and he's going to get some of those receptions out of the running back role. And because of how horrible they're going to be, we're going to see him play some this
Is
year.
that somebody you take a late chance
He's a
on?
rookie. No, I think he's
Waiver
he
wire.
comes in and ends up impressing. He's a waiver wire pickup. I don't think he gets drafted.
All right, I think we pretty much covered the running backs. Let's move along. Let's look at the wide receivers. We talked a little bit about them. I'm going to start with Jeremy on the wide receivers. Jeremy, you got any thoughts on the wide
Quincy
receivers?
Enunwa is the only receiver I look at last year, according to and all of these points can vary because of what the rules are. The source I had him at 168 points last year. The problem with that is that averages less than 12 points a game. As a wide receiver, I don't really take him. He was a top 50 last year. I think he was ranked number 50, if I'm not
Does
mistaken.
Brandon Marshall leaving help these receivers that are left? I mean, somebody's going to get those.
I think you could put the best wide receiver, Julio Jones or whoever, with them, and
They're just
they're
not
not
gonna
going to
produce.
have a good year because they don't have somebody to throw them the ball. And if they do start to have a good year, then the other teams, all they got to do is run the safety over the top on the wide receiver
Shut him down.
and shut him down. I don't know that there's a quarterback on their team that is capable of going to the second and third read, and Enunwa is going to be the first read on most of all their plays. So you run the safety over the top, shut down read one, then you get a sack.
And so you don't see any of the other receivers being much of a threat.
I don't even see Enunwa won't be on my team.
So not only do you not see any of the other ones, Enunwa you're not happy with. So he's there mid-round. You still don't take a chance on him? Wow. Nick?
16th, 17th round, I might take a look at it.
Well, yeah, but that's
Yeah, but anyway.
he won't be there by then.
Yeah,
Wow.
45th. Was the 45th receiver last year. He's going to be their number one receiver, but with nobody to throw to him, and any defense is going to key in on him.
Because last year he was the 45th with Ryan Fitzpatrick there.
Yeah.
And Fitzpatrick is not a good quarterback, but he's a capable quarterback.
Yeah, but
Definitely
anyway,
those 6 interceptions.
the one
Well, you still ain't got over that, have you?
maybe the one guy I might look at is maybe to take that second option is Austin Safari and Jenkins.
We ain't got to the tight end yet.
I'm just saying he might be that guy because he's a young quarterback. If they put in a young quarterback, they throw the tight end a lot, and that's just somebody I might look at.
Okay, Andy, any thoughts on the receivers?
No, not at all.
No, I'm not gonna.
Thank
I'm
you
not
for
gonna.
that input, Andy.
I'm not gonna repeat. Well, there's no sense
Yeah,
in
it's just
repeating
getting
what
redundant.
they're saying.
Y'all covered.
Yeah, y'all had cow killed them. You dug a hole, buried them in the ground, and stomped on the dirt.
There's,
There's nothing for me and Andy to do but just.
That Robbie Anderson just recently got arrested.
Didn't know that one.
I didn't even know he was on the Jets.
I knew he was.
They've got him
He
listed
was-
as a wide receiver number 2 right now.
Boy, the
Him
Jets
and
are
Ardarius Stewart were battling for number 2.
Yeah, battling for number 2, but he just
Right.
got arrested at a music festival last month. So
Yeah, and I
Jets
don't
are
think he
just-
has the talent where he could probably just cut
The
him.
Jets are just hurting all the way around. All right, let's look at the tight ends. You talked about Austin Safarian Jenkins. He come from Tampa Bay, where I thought he was a good receiver for Tampa.
He will.
But I'll start with Nick on this.
Well, he
one.
was, but his off-the-field issues is what caused him to be a free agent and picked up by the Jets. If he can clean up the off-the-field issues and stay on the field, he might be a pretty good option for the Jets, especially if they have a young
Are
quarterback.
you saying he has character problems?
Yes.
That's what I thought I heard come out of your mouth. Jeremy, any thoughts on the tight end?
I'm not a huge Austin Safarian Jenkins fan. I do like, and I'm not saying draft him, so please don't take that out of this. I do like Jordan Leggett.
You
out
he,
of Clemson.
You think he beats Jenkins or?
I think that Jenkins makes a boneheaded move at some point, and Leggett creeps in, or I think the Jets take this year as a rebuilding year and start building for the future. So if I'm building for the future, why do I not go ahead and put Leggett in some more and let him try to get used to the speed in the NFL?
But you ain't drafting either one of these guys.
No, I'm not drafting. But every NFL player I talk to all say the speed in the NFL is so different. So Leggett may be somebody that they go ahead and get some playing time, may do something crazy that we don't expect.
But you don't take a late round flyer on any of these. Andy,
I
you-
probably
no.
All right.
Safarian Jenkins is out first 2 games. I mean, so we're going to see Leggett right off the get-go.
stay away from.
He
the
comes
Jets.
in and does something, but I mean, it's just the Jets, man.
It's just the Jets. All right, let's look at the defense. Or do we really? I mean, this ought to be real quick.
Well, they have a great defensive line.
That's probably the best- The best position on their team is probably going to be their defense.
But
the problem is
if
the
you're-
defense is going to
Stay on the
be
field
out there a lot.
because the
Yeah.
offense can't move the ball. The defense is continually on the field.
I think if you have a good quarterback and a good wide receiver, you're salivating when you're playing against the Jets, because the Jets drafted Jamal Adams and Marcus May, and both will start at safeties this year.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 rookies starting in their backfield. They also cut.
But their line is good, though,
They
right?
also cut Darrell Rivas left them, so they're now getting new running backs, so a new cornerback. So I would say, if you are playing them and you got a good wide receiver, if you got a decent offensive line, you're ecstatic.
Yeah, which I love Jamal Adams. I think he's going to be a stud. This
I don't
year.
think
But
he'll be
he's-
good, but I think he's got to learn.
He's got a. I mean, he's going to be on the field a lot. He'll have a lot of time to learn.
They took longer on the defense than I thought they would. Andy, any comments on the defense? Yeah,
Stay away from the Jets.
Yeah, just stay away from even their special teams. I don't see anything special about them. And the kicker, we don't really discuss kickers much because they're kickers. But I will tell you this team will not be a scoring team. I see them struggling if they can make it to the red zone, they're going to struggle in the red zone. And
This
their
is
kicker,
going to be a team that averages 17 points a game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. They're going to be a low scoring team.
Their kicker, their starting this year is an undrafted rookie.
Wow.
Might as
Anybody's
well.
interested?
They're running
Ross
it
Martin?
around. Might as well start all
might as
young.
well.
Well, they may be next year, since they'll probably have the first round, the first pick in every round. They may can draft the kid from Auburn. That'll
Cody
probably
Parkey.
be Cody Parkey. He'll probably be the best kicker
Yeah.
available next year.
And
So they
you
get
don't-
him in round
you don't
2.
normally
He can
see,
probably go around round 3.
You don't normally see kickers drafted early, but I think Sebastian, was he not drafted first round by Oakland? I think it was first round.
Yeah, but you gotta preface every draft back then with an asterisk that says Al Davis, because there is a lot of moves he made
That's true.
that makes you scratch your head.
Yeah, but he's the one
Darius
that's
Hayward
doing
Bay
it.
with a number
But
14.
if Sebastian Janikowski were available in the draft now in his prime, coming out of Florida State,
Oh, he's
I think
a
a
top
team.
3-round pick.
Well, yeah, I think somebody could possibly take him. I mean, a field goal kicker.
How many teams have had the
can
same field
win
goal
you a
kicker for
game.
20 years?
Well, Well, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
think,
that could be a franchise kicker. I mean, it can win or lose you a game.
I think people are a little hesitant to draft kickers early because of the Robert Aguayo situation.
Oh, he burnt Tampa. Well,
Second round pick,
Yeah.
and he has not produced
well,
near what he was.
he
in
got
college.
more
They're-
consistent as the season went on, but he wasn't.
But
He
he's
was.
not-
He never lived up to what they were hoping.
No, not a second round pick, and that's why I think it's iffy for anybody to
In the
take.
future.
And there's
Yeah.
enough kickers in the league for different teams
Oh, man.
that I think you could trade to get somebody with them not having to take a second round pick. So.
Yeah.
All right, we're done with the New York Jets. We buried them.
Avoid.
Yeah, avoid the Jets. All right, if you want to hit us up, we're on Facebook
At FF Court.
and we got Twitter and
Twitter, same handle.
okay. Hit us up with any questions,
Twitter,
comments. Let us know what you think. Give us your honest opinion. That's what we want. Good, bad, or indifferent. We'll take them all. Anybody got anything else they want to say? All right, we're good. Court is adjourned.